Hello and welcome back to the team. Okie dokie, so Dota fans from around the world who might accidentally watch this stream by pure chance, this is Sporting Dota presenting Star Series Season 7 next versus DuzaGaming. I'm Nuff and I'm joined here by Iggy, who's my co-caster. And is totally infused right now.
Hello.
Reserve time. You've had one of those good days of work,
I
everybody.
just got back from work, man.
Yeah,
Can't expect this.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard life, being dragged out from just having to labour hard for like, I don't know, how many hours did you work for? 5 hours of carrying shit, and then having to watch Dota between two teams who you have no knowledge about. It's what life is about, really, isn't it?
Hey, I have knowledge of one of the teams.
We have watched next before, actually. Yes,
yeah,
we can't.
they're from Kazakhstan. That's my limit of knowledge.
And of course, you learned everything you know about that country from what?
Bora.
From Bora. Okay.
I'm sorry, what do you know about the country other than
I know that
Nex
Bora
lived there and Borat?
I know that Bora was not an accurate representation of the country.
It actually wasn't filmed in Kazakhstan, that starting scene. It was filmed in Romania.
Yep.
Interesting fact there.
Completely irrelevant to Dota. Let's have a look at what we've got going on here. Next, actually getting a Wisp. This is the first Wisp we've seen in this tournament, for us at least. First one we've casted. I don't know how much he's appeared in other games, but yeah, they should be fun. Wisp, of course. So strong
10 seconds
in TI3.
10 seconds remaining.
It's kind of actually, it's an incredibly rare sight to see Wisp not banned, and for some strange reason, if he's not banned, you also see teams, like, that's because neither team is afraid of the Wisp and neither team wishes to pick the Wisp. So sometimes you see him not banned and picked at all, and those are even weirder than seeing him picked up first.
Yeah, you see him banned so often in European and North and American Dota. Not so much in the Chinese scene.
Yeah, they kind of don't know what Wisp does. The first major tournaments with the West and the East combined, it was so funny watching them let the Whisper and get stomped into the ground every game.
Look for the classic matchup here, IO Chaos Knight.
IOCK. It's a very, very scary combination. That's because Chaos Knight, as a carry, can dish out so much damage with his phantasms, and he's actually got incredibly strong disables and controlling abilities for a carry. The potential 4-second stun, and of course Reality Rift allowing you to get point blank to your target. They can't run from you.
Exactly. Not to mention, of course, that Chaos Knight without the Wisp, not that strong. Doesn't lane that well, and he doesn't flash farm. So you only really see him when an IO's picked up. You
can only see him if he can find kills.
Yeah,
that's what Wisp allows him to do.
He needs to kill shit. He loves to kill shit. While we're talking about that, DuzaGaming did pick up the Visage and the Darkseer, two really strong picks as well. Visage extremely good in aggressive tri-lane, or any tri-lane really, due to Soul Assumption, and Darkseer, one of the strongest offlaners in the game.
Indeed.
As for bans, Clockwork being banned out for DuzaGaming, and Doom, believe it or not, being banned out by Next.
Kind of a rare ban, but I mean, I think we saw him pick him in their other game. Going back a few days.
Oh, my brain doesn't even remember, like, I can barely remember the match I just casted.
Remember a Doom? There was a Doom at some stage. Pretty sure we casted a Doom.
He was a Doom at some point.
Doom!
Big Assassin being banned out. Pretty strong ganker. Would make IO's life a little bit less fun. Actually, so does Doom.
It's possibly why he's been banned out, because...
Maybe.
But I mean, that said, I mean, if you Doom a Wisp, I mean, what the hell? If he's already teleported in to gank you, it doesn't really fucking matter, does he? You're probably dead from the CK anyway, and he's still got a tether up to stun you with.
Yeah, well, you're going to see what I'm expecting from DuzaGaming is you're going to see them going, well, we're going to be forced to 5-man, so we might as well make that 5-man as strong as possible and go for some team fight. That leaves like something like a gyrocopter will be great as a pickup. An alchemist would have been good with the Darkseer, but they banned that out themselves.
Yeah, they've still got something like a Sven possibly in the pool though. I mean, he combines fantastically with his Stormhammer into a vacuum.
Indeed, he does. Anybody really big AoE. Jakiro is also a decent pick. if they fancy it.
And Jakira's not been banned out, and I mean, Jakira's a pretty damn fine support as well. I mean, you can't really get a much better stun than what Jakiro has, and there he is.
Speaking of, when you see a Darkseer, you have to see at least one of the heroes that wombo combos with him.
Yeah,
every
with big
time.
AoE stuns, yeah.
Every time you see it, because it's just it's too good to pass up, and there's too many of them for them to ban out.
I really think is that the reason the Ice Path is so strong on Jakiro is purely because of its cooldown. I mean, you have... Ooh... So we're probably going to see the IO and the CK on a dual lane, so 2.5 lane I'd imagine with the Chen and the jungle. And this is actually going to give them really, really strong global power with that global heal.
Nice, I like a good tiny.
Also, another AoE stuns combined up with the Darkseer. Do you think we're going to see him in mid though?
It really depends on what next go for mid, because
Indeed.
there's so many heroes that can punish him.
And if they chose to not put him in mid, he's basically going to be forced into the farming carry spot of the tri lane.
Or he can do it as long as you get his acronyms up.
Yeah, true. With Aghanims, he just becomes so goddamn strong. And he's also a really, really hard carry to kill with the craggy exterior. It makes manning up on him really damn hard.
Can be, and he's got really decent move speed.
Indeed.
For a big lad.
I think... not really sure what next to go for. I think they're possibly just looking to take a full global strat with this Hand of God. So, had the Nature's Prophet not been banned out by Duza, I would have seen that as their offlaner.
Yeah. It's quite possible. Thinking of what else they could go for. Bounty Hunter can set up the ganks for next that they want.
You can also spot them out easily from his Shadow Walk, and that allows the IO to get a nice TP in.
That is what I meant by setting up the ganks.
Oh, okay. I thought you literally just meant... Oh, well, fuck it, I'll be quiet.
No, he can Shadow Walk up, he can be all invisible, all scary and stuff, and then when they TP in, he can go track, he can hit them with the Shuriken. They're not going anywhere very quickly. Chaos Knight's just going to snap in there and smash their face in. And yeah, DuzaGaming in a 4, because of the IO pick, they're forced to pick in a certain way.
Team fight.
Hello.
Ooh.
Speaking of team fight,
That's a global ultimate, basically.
practically, it's the entire screen at least.
Yeah.
But Tidehunter, okay, so maybe they're thinking the Tiny is mid, and they're going to lane Tidehunter mid. Tidehunter versus
This
Tiny.
would be a really, really good decision, actually.
It's the battle of the Colossus.
But if they then chose, if Duza then said, no, actually we're running Tiny on the safe lane, just, you know. Tidehunter's going to get fucked by whatever mid comes into play, and then even if they try and rotate him onto the off lane, I don't see him surviving there, not against the Darkseer.
He's not the worst mid in the world, but...
Yeah, but he's not really going to survive against a dedicated mid, like a Puck or something, is he?
You know there's one thing that you need from Tidehunter. That one thing is him being able to use his ultimate. And you get that quick in mid. Even if he gets no farm at all, he still has an ultimate. So he can use that. Admittedly, he would want something like a Blink Dagger. But then again, you can IO teleport him in with the Ravage.
Indeed, but then you're risking not getting your CK into the fight, which is...
I don't know, with a 4 second stun on. I think it's 4 seconds. Might be 3 point something.
Yeah, it's like 2.7 at max level, right?
I'm imagining things. I'm getting confused with Raw.
It's 2 at rank 1. It's kind of...
It still hurts.
I think... I mean, don't get me wrong, Ravage is an absolutely fantastic teamfight ultimate, but I think it could be an awful lot stronger. I don't think the stun is really that long on it, and the damage really isn't all that special either. It's just the AoE which makes it good. Ooh.
Timbersaw.
So that's a mid.
That's
Tiny safe lane carry.
Unless they go crazy and go Darkseer mid like we saw in the previous game, which you missed.
Remember on the Timber on the off lane.
Timber offline is possible, but I think at this point Timbersaw's mid, because he'll destroy Tidehunter in mid.
I really think Nex are panicking about this last pick right now, because they have to pick someone who can successfully offlane against Darkseer, and, well, there are the occasional hero which can, but they just know that mid is lost with Timbersaw, and I mean, we know... Ooh!
That being said, Shadow Fiend makes Timbersaw's life less fun.
Indeed, but this means Tide's going to be on the off lane against the Darkseer.
No, he's probably going to... well, He'd want that more than he wants the tri-lane, that's for certain. But no,
Yeah.
you're going to have the tri-lane in the safe lane. So unless DuzaGaming goes, you know what, we're going to run a really aggressive tri-lane and go up and try to stop your...
Hey, with a tiny Jakiro and a Visage, they can afford to go an aggressive tri lane.
Can they afford to do that? Because if they get no farm... Because you're sacrificing the farm of your own carry if you're going up on that lane.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay then, so you're shutting down Chaos Knight, kind of. But then you've got Shadow Fiend in mid, teabagging Timbersaw all over the place. So if you sacrifice the farm of your own carry to stop one of their carries while they have another one,
Yeah.
it's not great. Also, because you have that tri lane, it's easy to see when they've disappeared to go and gank mid. If they're down in the safe lane,
Yeah.
a lot of the time they'll sit in the jungle, so you won't see them on lane anyway. So it's less obvious when they disappear to go ganking. So
I actually want to make a point right now in that Doozer have done exactly what you need to do against a Whisper, and that's pick a team which can 5-man from 15-20 minutes into the game.
yeah.
They're going to be fighting as 5, pushing towers, really aggressively pushing for team fights, just to make sure this Wisp and CK don't get the pickoffs they need. Because if CK doesn't find those pickoffs, he's going to be behind, even if he's behind something like a Tiny. That's...
That being said, with the pickup of the Tidehunter and his ability to throw out that huge ultimate in team fights, they might not be as secured in the winning the team fight as they would expect. They don't have any of the massive, like, easy win ultimates like a Ravage. They have to combo up, and if that can be disrupted, it's possible that it will throw them off their game. So
that is kind of surprising, actually, that Doozer have gone for a really early lineup, but they, like you say, they really don't have that much team fight.
they have the team fight as well as they can. If they can get their combo off, it will do a phenomenal amount. It will do a phenomenal amount of damage. But even if they get it half off and they don't get Tidehunter and he has Ravage up, he can just ruin it with that Ravage.
I just want to point out that probably the most threatening thing in these team fights for Next right now is the AoE damage over time. We're seeing a Timbersaw with Chakram up. We'll see a Jakiro with Macro Pyre and Jewel Breath, as well as Dark Zero Iron Shells. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out.
Well, if they've got all that out, and then it's like, and they've got the stun of Jakiro is not very long, but if they follow it up instantly with a stun from
An Avalanche.
Yeah, with the Avalanche, which does a considerable amount of damage as well.
Dude.
Let's have a look at it. 300 damage. It's not the longest stun in the world, but it's another whole second you're stuck.
It's actually the stun on it is actually really like misleading. Because of the way the rocks travel. If multiple rocks hit you because it like lands over time, it'll be a second after the animation has completely finished.
Yeah, so it's about 2 seconds.
It's much closer to 2. Yeah.
Oh, they've got the because there's no one on lane at the minute, because it looks like Darkseid's has gone, you know, fuck you, I'm just going to farm the jungle, yeah. They're going to get the IO up as quickly as possible as well, and get that level 6 as quick as possible, because the quicker he gets that level 6, the quicker he can start doing the relocation ganks, which is what they want, really.
It's actually worth pointing out as well right now is that Tidehunter's doing incredibly well on this offlane.
He's a tanky bastard.
I'm genuinely impressed.
He started Kraken Shell early on, so his damage reduction of 7 instantly, it's always good. And his ability to purge as well makes it fantastic. He's also going to find this ruin bomb spot.
Haste.
So gonna probably go and try and go on the Timbersaw in mid. Chan's not too far away.
Oh, he's going to punch this Jakiro.
Harass Jakiro.
And ruin the
off.
Look at the damage. It's just like ping, ping.
That's not good for the Radiant.
He needs to be careful that he doesn't run out of his haste rune.
Yeah, they do have 2 stuns up here, so he does need to be pretty damn careful. They can still lock him down.
It's difficult to land the stun with some of the haste, though.
He's actually done a really good pull through there, but he's ended up pulling through for the supports more than anything else.
It means that he might... Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, he's pulled through for them, basically. Unlucky.
Actually looked at farming himself.
Look how low Tiny is from these creeps, actually. I mean, we say he's tanky, but look at his health.
He's tanky later. He's got 1 armor.
Yeah.
He's not gonna tank for him that easy. But additional like pull when he doesn't want to pull does force him to fight underneath his tower, which is it's good for Tidehunter, forcing him to last hit under tower.
Indeed. Ooh.
As fast as last hits are going, Tiny is leading it. He does have free farm though. Timbersaur's
Yep.
doing well. Chaos Knight's doing well. Yeah, so it's pretty even on, really, across the board at the minute.
It's kind of interesting to see the Tiny ahead of the Chaos Knight when Chaos Knight has completely and utterly uncontested free farm. Although this might be down towards Tiny's Quelling Blade. In fact, I think.
No, dude, Chaos Knight's doing a bad job.
Indeed. Oh god, he's not doing a bad job, but just slightly behind the Tiny. I think the Quelling Blade is really, really helping him to last it under tower and much more effectively than he otherwise would be.
Yeah, it's true. It's nice to have Timbersaur.
Indeed.
He's a fantastically entertaining
Radiant's
hero.
bottom tower is under attack.
The bottle
What's-
crown.
Sad for them.
Whisper's
about to
just
happen?
leeching XP off Chen in the jungle.
Why not?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Everything's a little bit slow. Tidehunter sitting on one last hit right now, which is to be expected in this situation.
We're actually seeing Timbersaur
Radiant's top tower
appearing
is under
to
attack.
hold himself pretty damn well in mid up against the Shadow Fiends. It's not a matchup you'd normally see going well for the Timber, so... Ooh.
Oh,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh,
I missed that.
dead tide.
Dead Tidehunter. I was too busy looking at this Io sat here in the jungle waiting for
that's not
Darkseer to
good
make a
for the
mistake,
Radiant.
so
Yeah,
you can
the
just
tether
tether
in,
to
yeah.
Chaos Knight.
Really good choice there, actually.
But ultimately, it doesn't really pay off, and Tiny's got a kill.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. About
Yeah.
time.
Tiny actually doing pretty damn well, but it's worth noting that although Tiny has the utility in the form of his Avalanche and his Toss, and he's got a lot of nuke coming out,
The Dire's
he doesn't really
bottom
have the
even
same
have arms to defend
typical
himself.
damage output of your average carry until he has an Aghanim Scepter.
No. I mean, he can do a decent amount of nuke.
Oh, they're going on the Tidehunter again.
See, if they need the stun up on him first, otherwise, no, we're just going to go into Visage. Normally with a Tiny, when you see him go on a hero, he'll throw them in the air, then Avalanche, because it does additional damage. But
Because it's broken and buggy.
it's not broken and buggy, it's designed that way, it's part of the mechanics. But he couldn't do that because the Jakiro couldn't stun up.
Yeah.
He was just out of range, so Tiny had to use his stun early. Ultimately, the kill going towards the Visage, which is good for him.
Well,
Always nice to have a
Visage
little
is
bit of fun.
always going to get kills, isn't he, with that Soul Assumption.
Well, you know, it's the kill Secura. Or Steve,
We
depending on
we actually have a rotation towards the mid from the Jakiro. Oh, he might be getting out to Fountain, actually. Derp, I'm retarded.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And Timsor's going to find himself a regen rune down bots. This is really going to help him because he's not been that strong against Shadow Fiend so far in terms of health and mana.
No,
It's all been slowly dripping away.
He was doing well early on, but as time has gone on, Shadow Fiend has naturally got more and more souls and is starting to do more and more damage.
Indeed, it's the risk for Shadow Fiend.
Timbersaur's really going to appreciate that.
Timsor's finally got his bottle up as well, so...
Yeah, it might be worth him diving now, knowing that he has that regen rune. So if he comes out of it with very little HP, he can be straight back up to full HP.
The big problem with diving is that it's always such a risk with a Chen in the jungle. Because you never know if he's just in that hard camp and is meters away when you go onto the Shadow Fiend.
It's true. I mean, Gyrocopter? That's not Gyrocopter. That's Jakiro. They almost sound the same, but Jakiro's rotating mid now as well. Sticking up a couple of
I
wards.
actually want to make a point right now, is that this Chen and the Io have been stacking the jungle absolutely phenomenally. Chen is using his controlled creeps to stack all of the camps simultaneously, or as many as he can, whilst Io stacks the remaining ones. So,
That is,
just colossal stacks up in this jungle already.
yeah, I mean, you have farm supports, things are going to go well. So they're getting farmed the old-fashioned way, while you've got the farm going up on the other team's supports by the ganks on the Tidehunter.
Visage is going for a very, very early Medallion of Courage, actually.
They might be looking to pick someone off really early.
Mhm.
We'll go for a very early Aghanim. Not Aghanim, sorry. Aegis. Oh, they're going on this Shadow Fiend now. Doing a lot of damage to him. Can they
Very
bring
dead.
him down? He's probably going to die. Timbersaur diving pretty hard.
Chakram's
Sal
going to go
comes
out.
up, Chakram goes out. Doesn't manage to get the kill on Timbersaur. And Timbersaur.
Oh, Timber's
Then
dead.
again, Hunter's Tidehunter says hello.
And Jakiro looking very, very low to this Chaos Knight. 3 seconds
Stun
stun
comes
up.
out. but he's going to be alright. Gush is back in a second. Didn't need it. Just clouted him with that stick thing that he has.
See, that kill on the Shadow Fiend was definitely not worth it right now.
They need to kill him. It's true, but you don't want to be losing your Timbersaw and your Jakiro for it.
I don't think it's so much that they lost two heroes for it. I think it's that one of the kills went to the... Actually, no, it was only an assist going to Chaos Knight,
Yeah,
so...
2 kills on Tidehunter.
Yeah.
Nice bit of goal for him.
Oh, seeing Wisp waiting in position again. Oh!
Going on the Jakiro here, and with Chen as well. Really good gank there by Next.
Yeah.
In comes Timbersaw trying to do something to force them back. Sends out the Chakram, goes for the nukes. Actually, they managed to bring down Chaos Knight with Tiny. Out comes a Ravage though, turning around this team fight. Can he do anything else? Shadow Fiend just mopping up here, getting a kill on the Visage and the Darkseer. Timbersaw's on the run. Oh, good stun by the Visage Birds though, actually going to protect him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
In the meantime, Tiny rampaging his way as well, getting himself a triple kill, picking up Io. And I must imagine it must have been Chen as well that went down to him.
Yeah. Sneaking around the back there, you sneaky little thing, Tiny. And he's just picked up 2,200 gold, so he's well on the way towards the Ags now if it's what his next item is going to be, which we imagine so.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brush it as an item. It would be a really good pickup on him. Normally, I mean, you get Blink Dagger for his initiation. He's going for drums though first. Oh, it's good. It's a good early item. It's nice and cheap. Gives you good attributes, bit of damage.
Indeed. He already had a bracer as well, so...
Yeah, so yeah, sensible pickup.
Pretty cheap to finish. And that movement speed buff actually really helps because he's very quick initially. When you start getting drums, he starts to outpace a hero like Chaos Knight, who... Well, we all know how quick Chaos Knight is. I mean, he's 380 with just power treads right now, and it's kind of important to be able to run him down if one of their ganks does go south and he's getting away.
Yeah, you'd want him to actually drums up on Chaos Knight if you can get them. No, he's going straight for the armlet, I look at things.
I think it's a pretty good choice. I mean, we know that Duza are looking to fight as early as they possibly can, so pick up an armlet before he goes ahead and buys something like a BKB out of the blue. I think it's a really right choice, or drums.
Yeah. Drums are good, but...
I actually think they might just leave this Chaos Knight farming for as much as he can during the game, purely because they know that they're not going to be able to get as many early ganks off as they'd like against this 5-man lineup, and they're currently 5-manned up down on bot right now, so it's possible they're just going to go, well, you've got an early...
Oh dear, Tidehunter, caught on the wrong side of his own tower. With that many, that amount of bodies there, he should have been a lot carefuler.
Yeah. But as Next have the only real hard carry in the game in the form of the Chaos Knight, I think they're just going to farm him up, and they're just going to say, well, we'll take this game late then. If you're not going to take any carries, we'll just smash you up when we want to.
Can he farm quick enough?
Ooh.
I don't think he can.
Oh, Wisp's relocating into mid. How big off the kill on?
Yeah, he managed to get a kill on Zero again. In comes Timbersaw, but he actually just melts. Killed off by Io in the end.
About to get out by the IO as well.
Though here comes this Tiny on the run. Gets stunned up for 4 seconds against this Chaos Knight. He's going to go down, almost certainly. No, he's going to be okay. Huge amount of damage coming out. Chaos Knight just melting. He's almost dead. And down he goes in the end.
Drops off to a Visage Bird.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all.
Indeed. He did get some damage out on that tier 2 up on the top lane though, so...
The main thing is he was so close to killing that Tiny. So damn close.
Yeah. And then the Avalanche came out, and I mean, you see how long it stuns. I mean, that's definitely more than a second.
Yeah.
Tiny's already got his point booster, so he's on his way towards his axe right now.
Yep. Point booster a good one to pick up first as well.
Well, the big problem with Tiny is that he suffers from the same thing which an awful lot of strength heroes with a lot of abilities to cast do, and that's a really big lack of a mana pool. I mean, he only gains 1.6 intelligence per level, so that extra 150 mana from the point booster really does help him out.
It's true. You can never have enough nukes coming out of a Tiny. Especially if he's really slow attack speed. But then again, damage increase every time, so...
Well, you see, the big issue with playing Tiny as a carry is that, I mean, yes, you get the amazing cleave built in, and yes, he hits like a fucking train, but his agility gain is one of the worst in the game. He gains 0.9 per level. I mean, he's never
going on. Visage gets stunned up though. In comes Tiny, just destroying Io in half a second. He gets Soul Assumption to death. Ravage comes out from the Tide Hunter. Can they turn this team fight around?
Chaos Knight.
Yeah, Chaos Knight is murdered off as well. They managed to get stun up on Tide Hunter right next to an Ion Shell Darkseer. He is down as well. They also lost Shadow Fiend. Everyone going down but the Chen. Everyone that went down there
sat in his jungle.
Yeah, everyone who rotated down there to get their gank on Tiny. I mean, they did kill Tiny in the end, but they lost 4 heroes for it. 4 for 1 is not a good trade, ever.
It's actually worth noting that this Chan didn't have Hand of God up for that team fight. I think had that been up, things would have gone an awful lot differently. With that plus 200 health for everyone.
Well, it can make a big difference.
Indeed.
It wouldn't have saved Io. He just died. Like
No, Io was dead.
Io was screwed right from the beginning.
If you get picked off by a Tiny's nukes, you're dead. Full stop.
Oh, Chaos Knight relocate gang murders off Visage really quickly. So yeah, you might have won that team fight, but we're going to pick you off. I'm actually going to leave Chaos Knight down here to farm up.
I would like to push the wave more than anything else right now, but with the Tiny here, that's suddenly got an awful lot more difficult.
And Chen, what are you up to, my son?
There's actually point boosters up for 3 of Duza right now.
On the Darkseer?
Interestingly enough, yeah, there's 2 on the courier right now. One going on the Timbersaw, and then I assume Darkseer's going to pick up the other one?
So Aghanim's on Darkseer early on.
Yeah.
That's a good counter to the ridiculous amount of
That's
illusions.
actually on the Visage, actually, the point booster.
Oh, so Aghanim's for Visage.
Yeah.
And Bloodstone, of course, going to Timbersaw.
Oh, of course. It's just interesting to see that many point boosters just crammed onto the courier.
What a brave tower.
Ooh, we're seeing Shadow Fiend farming up these huge ancient stacks right now.
He's actually picked up Boots of Travel, so he's going to be able to split push really effectively.
Boots of Travel?
He saw this before by Next. The same tactic with the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. Well, Shadow Fiend is actually doing really, really well for himself. I mean, it's 15 minutes into the game and you found Boots of Travel and a Shadow Blade. That's really, really solid.
They haven't been getting the ganks they want, though.
Indeed.
Not yet. Got a few Qs here and there, but not exactly what they want. Smoke up here from Duza.
Looks like going to Roche Bet, actually.
Maybe. It's... yeah, no. They're just going to circle back round and look for another push. Tiny getting surged up with Iron Shell as well. Looking for a kill. Ravage comes out.
Ravage catches the entire team.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough. Hand of God comes out, but they still lose the Tide Hunter. It's all going on right now. Relocate gang comes in well. Out comes the wall. They manage to stun up this Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is killed. Io also dead. And Test Knight died too, so everybody is dead.
Chen's running away.
Chen has never run so fast.
Stuns Chen.
Oh no! Timber! It's lucky he didn't get stunned up. No stun coming out from the Warstorm. It would have been enough to actually to kill Timber off. Stunning him right in front of the tower.
That's a pretty good trade for a Darkseer.
Oh, it's every time now, the trades. That's the second time. The second time they've lost 4 for 1.
Oh. This is what's going to happen if Duza decide to pick such a heavy early game lineup. I mean, we can say about how well they're stomping in these fights right now, but 30 minutes in, this is not going to be the same case unless this Tiny finds a miraculous amount of farm.
Well, he's sitting on 4 kills, 7 assists right now. He's got 1,700 gold going towards his Aghanims. He's going to have Aghanims within the next 5 minutes, I'd imagine, if he farms pretty well. So that's going to be what? That's going to be like a 22-minute Aghanims.
Yeah.
He does a phenomenal amount of damage with Aghanims and a cleave.
I mean, he's already doing a phenomenal amount of damage. He's already hitting 206 damage, so...
Make that cleave.
Yeah.
Lethality. It's whether or not we're going to build him to be tanky for men, or just continue to build him like some kind of horrific damage-dealing crazy thing.
It's always worth building crits on a hero like Tiny. I mean, even if your attack speed isn't very high, if you land a critical hit with your cleave and your absolute insane amounts of damage, you can wipe a team and actually manage to kill off the Roche there and smoke up afterwards.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough. They're not going to be able to defend this tier 2 though. They lost 2. They got Roshan, they got the Aegis, but they lost 2 towers up top for it.
Yeah.
Has fallen. It was only a matter of time.
Of course, it's less safe places to farm now for them. They've got bottom lane, they've got mid lane, but top lane's really dangerous now. Well, smoke up, and they're putting down wards, looking for something. Shadow Fiend's gone top to farm. They can spot him out. They're pretty close, and they have seen him. They're going to go on him here.
He does have an Aegis though, and just Shadow Blaze away. Actually, I don't think they have any dust.
No, they dropped down the sentry wall trying to find him.
That said, there's one thing which is the problem here, and that because of the presence of the Dark Lord passive from Shadow Fiend, it's very, very easy for them to tell where he is and follow him down. But he actually cancels the TP away.
He just got spotted out.
Yeah.
But he's going to go invisible again, so he's just going to walk straight past this Tiny, who does he knows he's here.
Yeah.
So the passive, like you said.
It's always so hard to keep a solid invis on a hero like Shadow Fiend, who has just...
Yeah.
It's just such a huge negative sometimes. I was playing in a pub the other day as an Omni Knight, and getting an invis rune, it's like, well, they know I'm here, they're all moving stupidly slowly.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like Ghost Walk for Invoker.
Slightly less.
Here's Aghanims, 19 minutes. Beat my estimation quite a lot.
Indeed.
So this Tiny, he's really ready to rumble. If he wasn't already ready to rumble as well. Now he's got a bloody Gret tree that he wants to hit you with as well.
Well, one thing with the Aghanim Scepter on the Tiny, which people sometimes forget, is not only do you get a 50% damage cleave, which is absolutely insane, and not only do you get that increased attack range, basically making you a ranged hero, albeit with a very short range, you also do 75% bonus damage to structures, and Tiny already hits for 230 damage right now, so if... He basically becomes kind of like the lone druid bear at this stage with Demolish up.
Yeah, the structures are not going to be able to withstand him. So these tier 2s here, they're not going to be here for very long if they decide to push them. Of course, he's going to farm up a bit more in a minute. Still got that.
That cleave is just so good.
So quickly he takes these creep waves.
3 hits to kill a creep wave. I mean, you can't complain about that.
No, not at all. I've got wondering what items he's going to go for next. Like you said, crit, always good. Anything that increases his damage, really.
Well, yeah,
again,
I think
they might be thinking, oh, if we want to push high ground, I need to be more tanky. So he might go, screw it.
For an AC or something.
Oh, Bloodstone.
Oh, that's
being
very...
assembled on Timbersaw.
I actually want to point out, this is a really, really early Bloodstone up as well. I mean, this is a 20-minute Bloodstone, so... Yep. Really good farm from the Timbersaw, actually. Up against the mid, which really shouldn't have been favourable for him.
Well, it wasn't just the farm in the mid, it's the assists and the kills that's been going out.
He's only at 325, so... Well, yeah, he's a Timbersaw. He's not going to die, is he?
Well, he can die, just not very often. He's died quite a lot considering he's a Timbersaw.
Indeed. Well, he's died twice.
But it's looking bad for next, but if they can get enough farm on this Chaos Knight, but how many gangs has he actually got where he hasn't died? I think he's got 1.
Yeah, I think they picked off 1 on the Visage and that's about it.
That's not where you want to be with Chaos Knight.
No. Problem is that he's now behind the Tiny, and I mean, look at Tiny taking this Ancient stack right now.
What Ancient stack, eh?
The entire team coming in to leech the XP off it.
This Tiny's a monster.
Yeah, he can now actually straight up buy crits if he was willing to. Straight up get a Crystallis. It's just... Even though the proc chance is really, really low, and I mean, it is a big risk on a hero like Tiny, because if you have bad luck with those procs, you're basically fucked, because your attack speed just isn't high enough to compensate, but when a crit does land, it lands hard. It lands really hard.
It does indeed. He might go for some other kind of damage. MKB is one option.
Or a Basher.
Yeah, Bash is another option, although the reduced amount of attack speed, again, makes it difficult for you to get as many procs as you'd like.
Indeed.
Then again, building it into an Abyssal Blade, nice chunk of damage and a stun that you can use that doesn't take all of your mana.
Well, I mean, to be fair, both of Tiny's skills are actually pretty damn cost-effective. Only 120 mana at all levels for each of them.
Yeah, but... Well, he's good with mana now.
Yeah.
Farm up these. So the thing is, they don't really want to go that hard, because they're still wary of this Aegis. They're going to wait for it to burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they know if they win a team fight, no one's coming back to kill them. Well, actually, Shadow Fiend can buy back and TP in if he really wants to, but the amount of gold he's got right now, that's not an option. Tiny. He's going to match up against him.
The big issue about going for...
No, didn't get Shadow Fiend.
There's actually a double damage rune up top, and I imagine that next they're going to spot it out before Deuce do right now.
Well, they don't want Tiny with it, that's for certain.
He's basically going to four-shot a tower if he picks that thing up. They really do need to be careful.
Shadow Fiend will be the one looking for it.
Shakira actually missed it. Oh no, he's in it now.
Oh, did you do there? I shall claim it from Mayo? No, I'm going to kill it.
Deny it. At least pick it up, Shakira.
No, you
Can
know.
still do some damage.
Well, yeah, but he's not going to kill anything with it, is he? He's just stacking.
Oh no.
It's Tiny. So they're going to be pretty much content until Tiny gets his next item. Maybe he's going to go for a... Well, if he was going for a BKB, he'd have the items by now.
Yeah.
He might be going flat out for an Assault Cuirass, which would make sense. Increased tank ability, which is a word, apparently. And, you know, extra attack speed, which is pretty nice right now.
Another thing he might be going for is we might see him pick up a relic and go for Radiance. I mean, it's still early enough for it to be very, very useful and incredibly damaging to these squishier supports such as the Chen and the Io, so...
Especially with his movement speed being, like, basically 400, too shy of 400.
And he's very, very tough to kill. See, this is the big thing with a hero like Tiny. I mean, you're tough to kill off no matter what in a fight. I mean, he has no tank items. I mean, he gets a little bit of attributes from all of his items, but he doesn't have anything really big and tanky, and he's still sat on 2.2k health, and...
Buy him a heart.
Yeah.
Kill me now, he'll say. Try, I do.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Run, little bottom tower.
Oh, so we get an engagement, possibly, from the Shadow Fiend, but he's going to back out. He's probably
Rest of the team
baited.
smoked up here.
He's bait, but they didn't fall for it.
No.
They didn't take it. They noticed the rest of the team is missing. They've got really okayish warding, so be able to keep an eye out for them.
They've really got wards in mid though at the minute. I mean, it'd be nice to have a jungle ward up, or possibly a ward somewhere down on the bottom lane.
They did have, but I think it might have got dewarded.
Yeah, there is an awful lot of sentries around, so a possibility.
It's Chaos Knight. What have you got? An armor and a BKB. Probably want more than this right now. Oh, smoke up actually. Let's hope they don't walk over that sentry ward that they just did. Fine. That Chaos Knight didn't spot them. Oh, Chaos Knight's in trouble. Oh, he knows now, maybe. He's on the run. Tiny can't
Wisp
chase
can
me.
go for a Oh, Wisp is here. He could TP him out, though.
He's going to need it. He's running to his ally. Where are you, my bro? Slow down. He changes up. BKB pop. They know which one you are. TP out, surely? No, they're trying to go on this. Oh, comes a Shadow Fiend ultimate as well. BKB's
Wisp
everywhere.
actually tethered to the wrong Chaos Knight because of the BKB.
Tiny here, wailing on them, trying to do as much damage as he possibly could, but he has lost a couple of his supports already. Can he kill off this Chen? He really wants to. He does. He's still have to back out though with low HP. Darkseer is in an even worse position right now. Had to proc a mechanism to keep himself alive. Gonna surge away. Timbersaw's difficult to kill off, but not if you have the attack speed of this guy, the Shadow Fiend right now.
So slow. Oh, and then Tiny comes in from behind.
Tiny kill!
Tiny.
Yep, triple kill on the Tiny. Team White used his one charges, I think, to bring his health back up because he was quite low last time we saw him.
Desperately trying to get off this Hellbear Smasher. Juke, Chen! Juke!
God damn it, screw it, I'm gonna TP out. So next, really struggling at the moment. I'll love to see Tiny be Tiny. Tiny's so much fun.
And he did actually go for the BKB, in fact, so...
Yeah, it was the BKB he went for. And it was pretty useful, because it's especially useful on Tiny as well, because he's passive. That means right-clicking him isn't always the best option.
Yeah,
you can't hit him with a nuke. You have no other option but to right-click him, because you can't just let him stand there, smashing you in the face. You've got to do something.
Well, I mean, the crack exterior is a 25% chance to stun for 1.2 seconds. I mean... When we look at a hero like, let's say, an Alchemist with a stupidly high attack speed and a Basher, I mean, normally if he locks onto someone, they're dead. But if that someone's a Tiny, it's like, well, you keep hitting me and you're just going to get stunned back, mate. So
it's the same effect for the Chaos Knight, because if normally, of course, he just pins you in a corner and beats the living crap out of you with all those illusions. But if all those illusions are stunning themselves as well, oh no. DD on Tiny. Time to push the tower. Well, they're going to kick in Roshan's head. This is going to be a very dead
Over
Roshan.
600.
Oh, look at the damage on the
damage.
Roshan. What did he ever do to you, Tiny?
Smash! Smash!
He can also stun himself on his craggy exterior, which is hilarious.
Oh, we're seeing
They've been
the
spotted.
scouted out by the Chan.
What can they do? Other
I
than
think they can take it beforehand.
Yeah.
And they saw the Tiny on a DD. I mean, they know they can't go in on that.
Well, the Tiny, very smart as well, threw out the stun right as Roshan died, just in case a Shadow bladed up Shadow Fiend was there to steal it.
One great thing about Tiny, actually, is that... Oh, look at that damage on the tower. Nearly all of his damage is because he doesn't build that many high damage items, and he gets all of his damage from Grow.
Yeah.
Because of that reason, it actually makes him one of the best double damage carriers in the game, because it only takes your base damage into account.
Yeah.
Which means that all of that extra damage from having an Abyssal Blade or what have you, that doesn't count, but
Good
all
wombo.
base stat damage does, unfortunately.
Yeah, a really good combo for him as well is if you have an Ogre Magi with Bloodlust.
Bloodlust! Yeah, but Bloodlust just works on any carry. I mean,
Yeah, well, it does, but it's attack speed on Tiny. It's hilarious. So he's got 4,500 right now. Assault Cuirass, you reckon, will be next item?
yeah, most likely right now.
It's hard to kill as it is. Make him even harder to kill with increased armor. He's got 10 armor. Give him... how much is it from Assault Cuirass? Another 15?
Yeah, another 15. Actually, I believe it's more because of the aura as
Yeah.
well, guys.
And there's a mechanism aura as well floating around, so...
Oh no, sorry, it is 15 with the aura.
15 plus the 5 from the mechanism as well, so yeah, another 20.
Indeed.
Although I think he's probably getting that already for the plus 5.
By the gods,
Yeah.
the Dire's bottom tower
Yeah, so he'd be on
doesn't even have
a good
arms to
25
defend
armor.
itself. Radius top
Chaos
tower
Knight actually
no
takes out the
longer
bot
radiates.
tower there.
Wisp, he can TP back whenever they want as well. It is up, so
Dire's
they
bottom
can
tower
defend
is
this.
under attack.
Tiny's just chasing them all off.
They're extremely scared of this angry rock dude, and they should be.
He's actually bigger than the towers at this stage. Also, I just noticed what
About time.
next is logo is going into their base. It just says "We need a sponsor" in giant letters.
Fortified.
Actually, I have to go TP back because of the split push of the IO, Chaos Knight, and the Shadow Fiend. Actually, he was over there. And that is one of the risks you're going to have to take with an IO that can relocate. At least, I mean, because Chaos Knight can push down towers pretty quickly because of his Phantasm. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a way that Nex can get back in this game. The
Yeah,
only
I
way,
mean,
really.
we saw the final of TI3 won by a Chaos Knight and a Wisp just by TPing into the base and just smashing the Ancient with those
They
Phantasms.
did have an Nature's Prophet as well, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still an awful lot of damage, even if your Chaos Knight has really, really mediocre farm because of those built-in crits.
Still, it's not the best, the most favourable way for people to win Doga, Rat Doga, as they call it. Really popular.
Smoke up now. Tiny actually not in the smoke. Apparently he doesn't need to gank.
No,
He's just going to walk around like the angry rock he is.
he's gonna maybe be bait, but no, he's just gonna wander off into the jungle and look at things.
Maybe he's going to go find a new tree. This one's looking a little bit dead.
Well, he has killed a lot of things with it. It can be excused, I think.
Smash. Smash. Smash.
Smoke up, looking for something to kill. Chaos Knight hiding away.
Yeah,
IO
same.
nearby.
Yeah.
They decided they're just gonna take the farm. They can't find anyone up here.
TPing out.
Yeah, they don't fancy it.
Indeed, it's probably not a wise decision to engage on 4.
Problem is though, all their farm is just gone, eaten up by these supports.
Up by the Tiny down on the bottom lane.
Yeah, he's eating up his own jungle. Yeah, the Assault Cuirass was the next item.
Doof. Doof.
I mean, they're just that Aegis. They still got the Aegis. It might be worth pushing with it while they still have it.
Yeah, I mean, with the assault
Smoke
curious
here.
now, he has an awful lot more.
They kill some Visage birds.
But they've just revealed the smoke by doing that.
They also decided to, instead of right-click them down, right-click all of them once, so they all survived.
Run, little visage
That being
birds!
said, he's got one there.
100 gold. And Tiny is smashing this tower.
Tiny gives no shits about being slow because he's just stood still, smashing his tower.
No forts?
No fort.
Really?
Saving it for the. Oh,
That
no.
hand of God did nothing.
Ravage! Oh, the Tidehunter is not in a good place right now. In comes a BKB'd up Chaos Knight and a BKB'd up Shadow Fiend, seeing what damage they can do. Visage is already down. Buyback from Chen. Looks like he might lose a little bit more here as well. Look at Tiny just wail on these heroes.
So huge with that magic immunity up.
Look at him go. Look at the speed.
3 seconds stun up on
It's
him.
good, but they're still going to lose the racks. But if Aegis, it's got an Aegis still. If they kill him off, he's not going to care. He's going to come right back. But then again, where is his team? They've all.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure he can
it's tough.
solo an entire army at this stage.
He's going to do a runner now. But yeah, got the melee. So
Ooh,
it's pretty good.
so on him.
They're going to go on him though. He's going to turn around and go, fuck you, Tidehunter. I'm going to die, but I'm taking you with me. See if he can take out Shadow Fiend as well. Got a stun on Shadow Fiend. Oh, they do manage to kill him off though, just in time. So
That's sad. They did lose racks for that.
they did, and a buyback. At
Yeah.
least one buyback. Excuse me, my voice is taking a beating at the minute.
And where's das?
Words coming out. Words related to Dota coming out.
Too many words.
Too
You
many
bet-
words.
Just let the game play.
Yeah, just let it play out. Yeah, we're 35 minutes in now, and you're looking at this Chaos Knight. He has a Heaven's Halberd now. Always nice. Can really make Tiny's job a lot more difficult.
This is gonna screw. Oh, we see a relocate gank happening right now up on the top lane.
It sucks to be you, Timbersaw. 4 seconds stun, Tether stunned, everything coming out. Oh, Shadow Fiend. Having a good
Actually,
time.
kind of unlucky that the timber chain there missed the tree by about 0.5 millimeter.
Oh well, should aim better. Aim better, bro. Can Next take this now? With the Heaven's Halberd is a huge item in this game right now.
Indeed. I mean, if you see the risk with a Heaven's Halberd is that you negate someone's damage for on a melee hero. It's for 3 seconds. Now, Tiny only attacks 2 or 3 times during that time period is the big issue. So, and I think it works much better against squishier carriers, like someone like a Gyrocopter, who might not be as tanky, but is still dishing out a colossal amount of damage. And
Yeah,
Tiny can survive those 3 seconds. They can't kill him off within 3 seconds, and he's just going to start right-clicking straight again afterwards.
But no,
So,
3 seconds where he's not allowed to cleave and he's surrounded by a Shadow Fiend with a BKB and
phantasms.
Phantasms with the Chaos Knight and Io, of course, supporting him as well. I think they could bring him down, depending on how unlucky they are with the Craggy Exterior proc.
Indeed.
Smoker to see being picked up, so they might look for another gank.
It is worth noting, however, is that the Craggy Exterior is actually a it's not a physical effect. It's not quite the same as a basher, which means if you do have a BKB up, Craggy
It's not
Exterior
effective.
won't stun you. Yeah.
Fair enough. So BKB's up and him not able to fight back for 3 seconds might be a big changer. Of course, his BKBs are also negating all his team's ability to help him out because Darkseid doesn't do any physical damage. You don't get any physical damage coming out of Timbersaw. He's a heavy nuker.
Yeah.
The same with Visage and the same with Jakiro. So
He is
Tiny
the
has to he has to solo those 2 heroes. All
He does
alone.
have a lot of right click though. That is worth pointing out.
It is, but at some stage, the thing is, he can out farm people. Yeah, that's fair enough. Go for it. But the thing is, can he out farm 2 people at once?
Indeed.
It's not the easiest for him. They're going to defend their tier 3 in the mid at the moment.
Tiny's still saving up at the minute. I mean, he seems to just be saving up monumental amounts of gold and then buying items straight up.
Rapier.
I personally want to see the Daedalus come out.
It would make sense, but he's also got to save for buyback as well. So
Indeed.
his team really needs him. They're leaning on him quite heavily in this game, as you do with a carry,
Indeed.
especially in a single carry lineup like they've got going on here. opposed to the dual carries on next.
Indeed, but that said, Shadow Fiend is... I mean, he had his time during the middle of the game. I mean, he's actually finished up a Butterfly right now, so he's he's actually better farmed than the Chaos Knight.
It's a lot easier for... He can flash farm. It's not easy for him to come back from behind than it is the Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight really relies on those ganks that they haven't really been getting. That's like very close to being dead, that familiar.
And one other thing which is worth pointing out, which is happening right now, is that the advantage next have is called a little thing called Alpha Wolf. And that means that's 30% extra damage to all of those Phantasm illusions, to the Chaos Knight and to the Shadow Fiend.
Smoke up, puff of the Shadow Fiend.
They actually smoked up within vision while they were auto-attacking Creep Wave though, so... a little bit risky there.
And they went straight past this, look, straight past the Sentry Wards, all of them. They know they're in Roshan now. What can they do about it? That's the big question. In comes the Chakram, harasses them away from it. This is going to be a huge fight for both teams. If Nex can manage to bring this fight, we give them the space that they really need right now.
The massive issue is that if Duza win it, I mean, they're so close, and their Creep Waves are already pushing in on the next base. And
Tiny's like, fuck you, I'm going to kill Roshan.
Next actually...
Next, they're going in on this Tiny. Out comes all the damage. Oh, great vacuum. Brilliant, though, with the Requiem. And up comes the Hand of God, keeping them alive. Tiny still wailing away. Io is being brought down. Shiva's God comes out. A death for the Shadow Fiend. He instantly buys back. This is the advantage of being on the Dire team. He can get back here a lot quicker. But they haven't lost anyone yet on Duza. But that's not true. Buyback on the Tiny. Buybacks from everybody.
The entirety of Next actually brought back.
Apart from Io.
I was about to point out before the fight happened is that Next needed to back. They couldn't take the fight because look at their bottom lane. The creeps have pushed in and they've done half damage to this tier 3.
Oh, that is true. Aegis and the cheese on Tiny.
Indeed.
Try to kill
I was
him now.
I was about to point this out at the start of that fight, but it still happened too quickly and
They lost
half of a tier 3 down.
How are they going to defend this tier 3 now? Well, they've got no IO, they've got cooldown on the Ravage, they've got a cheese and an Aegis on this Tiny. How are they going to kill him?
They're not.
They're not going to kill him. Well, he's taking a considerable amount of damage in a minute, but he's just going to go continue to wail on shit. Throws out the avalanche, continues to wail on this tower. He doesn't care. They've come in. Nice stun by Jakiro and vacuum in as well. BKB's being popped right now. Wailing on them is this Tiny. He is massive right now. Look at him go. He's going insane on these guys. They just can't kill him. He's got the cheese. Pops the cheese. He's back to full HP. What can you do against this guy? They've got the run on the Shadow Fiend. Now comes Soul Assumption. He is dead. Looks like the Familiars are going to try to stun up on the Tidehunter. He's being slowed. Grave Chill. Lots of creeps. Lots of damage coming out on this poor Tidehunter. Finally brought down by the Visage. Down goes the Rax. This is gotta be GG. He still has the Aegis. Even if they kill him, he's going to come back again.
He's just manning up on these tier 3s right now. I mean, with his BKB up, he's actually the size of the Ancient right now. It should just be called Defense of the Tiny.
Attack of the Tiny. In comes Chaos Knight. Stun up again. They might lose Chaos Knight before he can even BKB here.
Smash.
Yep, he's dead.
Tiny angry.
GG finally called by Next now. They know they can't defend this. Actually, I think he's going to kill the Ancient before the timer counts down. No.
Oh, so close.
Corrected. Almost Tiny. Almost. Great play by Duza.
I know. Fantastic play with a really, really unusual lineup as well.
What? It was an early game lineup. Lineup.
I say unusual lineup. It's all very, very standard apart from that Tiny.
You don't see enough of Tiny, especially. It's just there's better carries normally. That being said, look what the crazy guy did.
Yeah.
The thing is, because he's a really tanky one, it makes Shadow Fiend's job of killing him off a lot more difficult, especially with the Crazy Exterior, because Shadow Fiend is a right-click hero.
That said, the Crazy Exterior only procs on attacks within 300, so if Shadow Fiend manages to maintain himself at range, the Crazy Exterior won't proc.
How do you stay at range against a goddamn Tiny with a 400 movement speed?
Yeah, you kind of need to slow or really, really solid stuns, and then he's just going to BKB up, and you're back at point blank range to
Yeah,
him.
that is worth noting. One stun on that team, and it's Curse Knights, and it's not exactly the most reliable. It's built in to
Oh,
be random.
I'm sorry, no, they have more stuns than that. Come on,
Oh,
you've
yeah,
got the
sorry, it's
Ravage,
Tide
got
Hunter.
the Tether,
Tether
and
stun is like half a second, and Ravage takes
it's a
like.
second.
Oh, okay, it's a second. But Tide Hunter's Ravage takes about a decade to get back after you use it.
And you also have chain creeps.
Ah, which he didn't stun with. Oh, no.
The Chen didn't really have centaurs up most of the time, and when he did, he kind of just forgot that they had abilities to use.
Yeah, but they went, all right then, you can have Wisp. You can have CK as well. You know why? Because we're going to have a Tiny that's going to outfarm him, and we're going to have a 5-man team that's really difficult to fight against. And that's exactly what happened. Every time there was a big team fight, Next came out on the losing side. In every shape. Even the ganks they lost people. They got one gank with Chaos Knight that didn't get Chaos Knight killed, I think.
Yeah, and they only picked up a Visage for it who already had an Aghanims. I mean,
well, that's the tale of the tape.
Visage historically picks up a lot of farm for a support, having picked off an awful lot of kills, but it's still kind of an issue when you see a Visage running around with a Medallion of Courage and an Aghanims, because you know that means the rest of their team is equally or more so farmed.
Well, he had enough money to buy himself a Gold Scepter as well towards the end of the game, so... Yeah, they played, they knew their strat, basically. They knew how they were going to take this Wisp game, and they executed it really well, and they made Next's life really, really difficult. And the Tiny, he became... Sometimes it's difficult to, like, entrust your team in the hands of a single carry, which is why we see a lot of the, like, tri-core kind of lineups coming out in the current meta. But they put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket happened to be made of stone and got really big.
Yeah, but fantastic play from both sides, I think.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I enjoyed watching it.
It proves that Wisp isn't undefeatable.
We know he's not undefeatable.
He's
just undefeatable in the hands of Na'Vi or in the hands
Alliance.
of Alliance. To be fair, Alliance did beat the Wisp twice with Na'Vi playing it during the what was it? The quarterfinal, semi-final, something like that. Semi-final, yeah. So it can be beaten, and we've seen it beaten before, and we've seen it beaten today because of Tiny, the unstoppable rock monster with the best beard in the business.
No, he's not a rock monster. He's literally just a mobile mountain.
Okay, with a tree.
Yeah.
Treant would be very upset to watch this match. What are you doing? Why are you swinging my friends around?
No, I reckon because of his size increase when he's on a BKB, that actually probably is Treant.
You can hear
explains why he doesn't die. He's got living armor constantly on himself.
You can hear him screaming as he bashes him against the ancient.
Don't do this, Tiny! I'm your friend!
Timbersaw's sitting in the background going, yes, hurt the trees.
No, I think Timbersaw's just desperate for afraid.
On that note, I think we should probably stop here before I go any more insane.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. That is the end of today's coverage of Starladder. Actually, there's no more matches, basically. Even if there were matches, we wouldn't be able to cast them. Because that is basically us for the day. Thank you very much for tuning in, listening to us, and having fun. I hope you enjoyed the matches as much as we did. You got
see ya!
Just see ya. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Cheerio!